Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Deck Bros podcast. It's your boy, Master Damie,
This is Robbie, right?
and today we are talking about the infamous movie that just released, right? The Batman,
The Cape Crusader,
the Cape Crusader, the Gotham Knight,
The Dark Knight,
the Dark Knight, right?
Robin's daddy.
Right.
uh,
I, I mean, we went to watch the movie together, Robert,
yes, we did.
and I believe. All right, we're gonna get to the rankings
Yeah.
later on in the episode, probably towards the end. But what did you think of this movie as a whole?
Well, I just want to say I love your glasses, by the way.
Thanks. I'm going for the Bret Hart look today.
I'm feeling them. They're looking extra.
Extra Bret Hardy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, well, I thought the movie was great. Well, I mean, overall, um, rankings will come later, but for the most part, overall, I was happy with it. I think it is, especially with these movies, you kind of got to be either you're happy with it or you hated it,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's kind of like no real in between.
Yeah.
So as far as how much you were happy with it or how much you liked it, that's a whole different story.
Of
But
course.
yeah, I mean, for the most part, we'll go into detail further, but that's where I'm taking it, and
Okay.
that's my take on what
All
I
right.
felt about it.
All right. Me personally, right? Like I said in previous episodes, but if this is your first time listening, Batman is my second favorite superhero behind the Ninja Turtles, right? So going into this movie, I was, hoping for the best because you don't want to see one of your favorite superheroes or any superhero movie at all, really, kind of flop. But definitely when it's one of your favorite, especially, favorite DC superhero, um, I didn't want to be disappointed. I just didn't want it to flop at all. And I honestly walked out totally satisfied with how it was directed, the storytelling, just the overall, the direction that they're going with this Batman. I think is on the right path, especially when you think about uh, how the DCU, the other, how the Justice League and all the other, like the Superman and Batman, all that stuff kind of played out so far, or is playing out since it's still currently active. It felt good to see that some part of DC is doing it right. I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which I mean, a lot of it's still up in the air.
Yeah,
Regarding the DCEU, and then I mean they already announced that this is kind of what I guess they're
their own little like they're
yeah
saying.
like you
Some people are calling it the second Earth or something like that.
yeah, you know
Earth
how like
Two.
Marvel has like what is it, 617, or like
Yeah,
like the like normal timeline, and then they
yeah,
have all the other multiverses and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, right? So which is awesome. I think they went in the right direction. Like you said, I always felt DC was darker, and that's exactly what they gave us. They gave us a really dark movie. Um, that was that was actually kind of scary at times for me.
Well,
Like it was like it was like it wasn't like like scary like oh my god like but it was kind of like uh
eerie.
it was kind of yeah, it was kind of like weird. It was kind
Yeah,
of like, you're like, "Oh my God, like what's gonna happen? Like this is creepy."
yeah.
There we go, creepy. It was kind of just like, "Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what is he thinking? You know, like the whole movie, I was trying to figure out, like, okay, like where is this going? You know, because it did give you like that. The old like the whole Batman thing is like, he's like the world's greatest detective, right? And so they actually like for the first time, as far as like movies are concerned, I felt like that we were able to kind of see that,
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
because you don't really see it in like any of the older movies, like the, Michael Keaton, George Clooney, and then even with
Mr. Bell.
yeah, with Christian Bale and the Dark Knight trilogy, like you don't really see him kind of do all those things, right?
Hmm.
It's kind of more like Alfred helps him out, or
Or
you
he
got
kind of
Morgan
just
Freeman
ends up
kind of
there,
helping. Yeah, or he just kind of gets it done. Like not saying that he plays dumb, but like obviously he's smart and he does a lot of the stuff. But as far as like the encoding, the encryptions that they had to do, like the actual detective work where he was in on scene and everything like that,
hmm
like we kind of got to see that relationship too,
hmm
because obviously with the storyline of the Dark Knight, they made him the villain, so he had to kind of run away from you know, the police. But here, like you got to see him like work hand in hand and kind of be able to be there for the crime scene and really kind of see it as him really just being a detective,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah. I think it was awesome. I think the thing I liked about this whole detective, like actually seeing him be a detective, was that I mean, along as watching it, like I felt like if you were like really involved in the movie, you were trying to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
trying to see who it was that they were trying to catch and what it was, what were the Riddler's motives, and like who and just and then everything just unfolding. It was just like you kind of like wow, it was just I remember at one point when one of the riddles I was in my head, I was like, oh, it has to be Penguin. It has to be Penguin.
Right.
And like ended up, hopefully, no spoilers here, but I mean,
I mean, if you're watching this, then you
yeah,
you
I
have to
was,
watch the movie. It's
yeah,
spoilers ahead,
yeah.
obviously.
Spoiler alert. It wasn't the Penguin, and I was like, damn, like, you know, but
Bro, not only that, but like this the whole like URL
oh yeah, that,
aspect, and that
yeah,
and that the fact that he changed L and La, and then like that threw me for a loop. I was like, what the
yeah. I was
hell?
like,
Like how?
how do you even think of
Like
that?
yeah,
That thing would have
I did
flew
not
right
even
over
think of
my
it.
head,
Yeah,
to be
for
honest.
sure.
But I mean, it
Well, I
definitely,
mean, it did for them, right? Like
yeah,
Penguin had to bring it up and be like, "You guys are dumb. You guys don't know Spanish."
yeah.
Like, and then
You don't know the
finally they're
difference
like,
between
"Oh
L and
wait,
La.
like URL."
Yeah,
Like then they obviously just typed it in, and then there you go. And now they started talking to him.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
which that which kind of brings on like uh before the movie, right? Is like the website that you were able to go, and then they gave you like the riddles, and like if people actually did them, like like that was kind of cool, like the stuff that they had before the movie. They kind of
They
like,
have them after now too. That same website.
oh, they do.
That
Oh, right.
Yeah, that
I think
website.
I saw like something on Twitter or TikTok, like someone like went in there and like there was like new stuff on there. So,
Yeah, there's
um,
new stuff. They're thinking that they're gonna release like uh deleted scenes and stuff on there.
oh, okay, that would be
Yeah,
sick. Yeah.
yeah.
So like there you go. Like there's like um it was pretty cool to be able to kind of like like get interaction like before the movies and stuff like that.
hmm
um Part of it, I wanted to talk about the novel a little bit. Like I sent it to you. I'm not sure if you did the audiobook or read it or anything like that.
I
If
have
not,
not.
that's totally fine. I'll tell you the story. It was like a 130-page like novel. They have it on Audible. That's what I did, and I just like listened to. It was like 2 hours, so I was just like listening to it while I was working. But like it basically did like the origin story, like his first kind of like case and everything.
Mm.
And they kind of gave a little bit different of like a background story. Like obviously everybody knows the background story of Batman. They really didn't go too far away from that,
Yeah.
right? But the whole concept was like, even in the movie, they kind of showed it, right? Was the dad went ahead and went for mayor, and then the whole orchestra aspect, right? And like the kids singing, right? And so one of the scenes in the actual novel is Edward being part of the choir,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, and so then obviously, obviously, like the Waynes are there, right? And he
Yeah.
sees Bruce. They make eye contact, right? And Bruce like smiles and waves at him, right? Whatever. Um, and then Edward's like, "Why?" Like Edward kind of like looks at him and like despises him, right? So then it kind of gives you like a stem, like why he's so like um he is the way that he is, right? He kind of has this thing against Bruce already, like as a kid, still, already, and then the Wayne's even more, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, so it kind of gives like it was already there, right? And then obviously, if you watch the movie, then it kind of goes further into it, especially with the Newell concept, right? And then like the $1 billion that they gave to the city to like use as they will, and it wasn't used properly that we find out, right? But then from there, like they kind of go with Bruce and they kind of like tell you like, okay, well, his parents died, but it's like then they kind of change up his um his kind of origin a little bit, right? Because like the ones that we have seen, they uh they get killed in the alley and then he ends up just living with Alfred, right? And then like, you know, uh the Dark Knight, he goes and finds Ra's al Ghul, and then he fights with the League of Shadows, and that's how he learns how to fight. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, with this one, they talk about Alfred being part of like the British secret, um, like ops, right? And so Alfred teaches him how to fight, and then from there into college, like Bruce literally just jumps from college to college, right? He just kind of like he learns what he wants to learn here, like right, and then because that college is number one in that like particular you know
Subject.
um subject, then he gets what he gets out of that. Then he goes to another college and he goes to another college, right, and kind of just does that, right. So it kind of gives the background of why he knows so much stuff, right, because he had enough money where he could just jump from subject to subject, learn what he wanted to learn, and as much as he wanted to learn, then he just pieced it right into the next subject and the next best college. From there, then they talk about how he traveled, abroad as well, right? He goes country to country and he um, learns different, forms of fighting from all these different masters, right? So that gives him a little bit more extra as far as fighting skill and everything. Well, from the stuff that Alfred taught him to now he fought with different masters in all these different forms of fighting. So he's like super well rounded in fighting and everything, right? And then he comes back home, right, from all that stuff. And then he starts working on his car, which ends up being the Batmobile that we see in the movie, right? And then also he made his own bat suit, right, using like stuff from Wayne Wayne Industries and using all their technology, and he makes his own bat suit, which we'll get to the bat suit later. I think it's probably the coolest one that we've seen in movies as well. And then from there, right? So he makes his own he builds his own car, he fixes it up, and now he starts like racing, right? And so this is where Edward pops back in, right? Edward's been an orphan. He's been in and out of houses, right? Um, he's working. He's working basically like day and night, right? Because he's needs to make money to go to school and all this stuff, right? And obviously he has, elevated. Uh, he's basically a genius as well, right? And so basically what happens is Bruce starts street racing with some of these rich kids. They almost run over Edward. Edward uses some new bomb technology of spray, which kind of brings into like all the explosions that happened in the movie, right? So that kind of makes sense. And then he puts like that spray into one of the cars, right? Next time that they have a race, ends up blowing up. Bruce saves this girl, right? And then he starts working with the police, and like, that's when all the investigative stuff comes in because he's like, okay, who did this? Because obviously it just didn't blow up for no reason. The explosion happened in the back, blah blah blah, and then he kind of goes through all of this like investigation and working with the police and everything like that. And then like at the end, that's kind of like his first case, and they like they figure it out, right? Um, but that kind of gives like a cool little background story of like Edward and Bruce and how they kind of like have always been kind of like fighting a little bit,
Kind of
ever
just
since they're
linked.
little. Yeah, how they're always linked. And then now, like with the movie, it gives the background of like why he sings and then all the photos that like and all the videos and this whole like kind of like thing he made up in his mind where he's connected with the Waynes and he connected with Bruce and all this stuff, right? So it's like I would recommend that you look it up. Like a lot of the things that are happening in the novel kind of come into the movie and they kind of tie in a little bit, and it's just kind of fun to like get that background and kind of be like, oh man, like I remember that in a novel, like this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So altogether, that's about it.
All right. Yeah.
So it
Uh,
was pretty cool.
yeah. I guess in the, I think just going off what you're saying, I guess having that like little book, a little novel story, kind of replaced uh the origin story really for
Hmm.
this movie because that's the one thing I loved about this movie too is that it wasn't an origin story.
Right.
I feel like if it would have been an origin story, it kind of would have just been boring and bland. It would have been kind of like Batman Begins almost. Um, but it was different. It was like I said, I just felt like the 3 hour movie. It didn't feel like 3 hours. You know,
Yeah, for sure not.
I felt like I was into it the whole time. Like, man, I was like, wow, this is great stuff. Like, I was each piece of the puzzle. I was like, what's next? Like, who's next? Like, who else is being dirty? Obviously, you kind of like have the idea,
You
right?
dirty.
Sorry, like dirty cops, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, right, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I got the vibe. I got the vibe.
yeah. So, but definitely, and I like how it's like how they say he's only in his second, like he kind of like explains he's only in his second year of being Batman.
Oh yeah,
So
with like the journal, like he writes
yeah,
everything
oh yeah,
down because like
the Gotham
like which is like
Project.
right, and then like it's also like super cool, right? Because like he's like it kind of also shows like the um I guess like the toll it takes, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like the mental aspects from it as well, right? Because like I think that's something that like was never brought up as well in all the other movies is like how the hell can he stay all like up all night and then like also like do the stuff during the day and then this fool's just like okay, right? And
Yeah,
so like kind of shows like oh he needs to write everything down because like he just doesn't remember sometimes,
yeah,
you know?
definitely. Yeah, and I felt like you've seen that. Like, I like how they kind of like made sure you knew, like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
this is year two of Batman, and
Hmm.
none of these characters are in there like like Selena Kyle is like she's in the movie. Like we know she's Catwoman, but she hasn't, she doesn't really say she's Catwoman, She's doesn't
Yeah,
have. Same thing with Penguin. Like we all know he's Penguin, but he hasn't reached his he's still like, you
he
know,
works for people,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. He's not top dog Penguin yet. Same thing with the
Hmm.
Riddler, we're used to seeing him in a suit and little top hat. Or maybe we see that in the future movie. I mean, but I felt like this was like
Hmm.
his origin story, and then even that little scene where you kind of see the Joker, but you don't really see him.
Hmm.
Like there's like people saying like that they don't even think he's the Joker yet. Like he's just
Right, maybe he's just some schizo, or he's just
yeah,
like some guy in the mental
yeah.
institution or whatever they are in right now,
So like
and
that goes into like everything, like the different ways and routes that they can go with this movie, and um It's just it's so open the where they can go with this stuff,
Hmm.
and I felt like we're gonna be able to see, like, for sure this isn't a one movie kind of deal.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, they said that they like kind of already announced that it's not going to be one movie,
yeah,
and I hope hopefully they do go on that
I
angle.
I hope it's more than a trilogy, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you can, with the characters where they're at now, like I feel like you can, I don't know, I feel like you can get a lot done.
For sure. I mean, well, I think they're setting it up for that, right?
Yeah, I think they're
Because
setting
like
up.
you said,
Yeah,
like he's only in year two. Like we know that for sure, and he's still like trying to get the hang of things,
yeah,
Like you could tell, like that scene that we talked about when like he's running out of the GCPD, right?
yeah.
And
He's
like
a
he like stops and he's like, "Oh damn, like what am I doing?" And then he gets the suit up and then he crashes into the bridge and like he
yeah,
could tell that he's still trying to get the hang of things and
yeah,
he's still pretty green,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Even like the whole car thing, like the whole Batmobile is like, it's not
Hmm.
like the Batmobiles we've seen in other movies. Like, it's not fully souped
No.
up. Like,
Mm-mm.
it was taking some hits,
It looked
and
like he was still working on it. Like
yeah,
throughout the movie, he had
yeah,
like car parts everywhere, and the
yeah,
engine wasn't even in it.
yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
like,
you see that part where he tried to like
mhm.
start the car and it didn't. He's tried to start it and it wouldn't
Right.
go. So, and that led to the whole chase scene.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that it's it's exciting to see what's gonna happen. I think,
Right.
I have a few ideas. Um, I don't
You
know.
want to talk about him now?
Yeah, I mean, unless we want to save it for the end, or do we want to save the rankings for the end?
We could save that for the end. We could do this little bit more about the movies, things that we
Yeah,
liked, and things that we didn't like, and then, um, you know,
yeah. Well, I mean, things that I really liked. I love. Let me say this. All right. If you think, if you're not watching this movie, or you think that this movie is not going to be good because you think that Robert Pattinson is just, what is it, like a blockbuster Twilight kind of guy, and he has just that feel to him, and he's not like an this man is a great actor. Let me tell you, great actor, great Batman.
yep.
I loved it. I loved the performance. I didn't even, not once did I think of fucking, of Twilight.
No, not at all.
Not the
I mean, I
man.
didn't watch like,
I
but
I only watched
still,
the
I mean,
last one.
I would, and I know how you feel about that one.
Yeah,
We're not gonna get
we're
into
not
it.
getting into it, but
But no, for sure. I mean, I know people have like the whole Twilight thing, right? But like, I mean, that's if you haven't really kept up with his career and the things that he's also done, right? He's
yeah,
so much more than just Twilight, and he's
yeah.
such a like Twilight didn't really even show like his acting skills, like
Mm-mm.
like it kind of limited him,
I
if
felt
anything,
I felt like it put him on the map, as far as like the
Hmm.
whole like Edward versus Jacob thing, like,
Oh, for sure,
and
like
the whole craze, like when
it did its job.
it did, yeah. But I feel like there's definitely more to him as an actor that people, I think, overlook, you
Mhm.
know. And if you watch this movie, like, go watch this movie. Like, if you're a fan of, even if you're not a fan of Batman, it's a great movie to watch. But I mean,
Look,
the
I'm gonna put
performance.
it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it as like this. If you're a fan of like true crime or like detective shows and stuff like that, then go watch this because it's more of that type of movie than it is like a superhero
Yeah,
movie. That's
exactly.
what I
It
got from
didn't
it.
feel like a
Right.
superhero movie. It felt like you said,
It, it,
like a true crime detective kind of, like, it had that
mhm.
vibe, and it
Like
was,
psychological thriller type thing where it's like it's creepy, it's weird at times, and it's more about being like detectives being detectives and working together like partners. Literally, it was Batman and Jim Gordon like
Yeah.
together, like going around and just like
I
working a case. Like it was weird, right, to see that,
I
but
think,
it was awesome as well.
yeah, I think it being a Batman movie just made it that much better for me.
Right,
You just it added, everything. I was a big fan of L.A. Noir. You know, that game was awesome. It had the same vibe. Even the Batman
hmm
games that we've talked about in the previous episode, like the game, it had that vibe. Where you're kind of just
right,
like trying to figure out and put the the pieces together. It
for
was
sure.
it was great storytelling. I would say great. I mean,
It, you know what it felt like? It felt like if they like put Gotham,
hmm
the TV show, and they put the Batman games and just like put them together.
oh yeah, for sure.
Like that's literally what it
It
felt
felt
like,
it felt
because it
like
felt like it was like a new like a
a new.
early Batman,
Hmm.
like kind of like origin aspect, right? Same
Yeah,
thing with Gotham, where like Bruce is like getting to that point, and he kind of is Batman, but like he's just started,
yeah,
right?
and then the
Penguin's not
villains,
there, yeah.
all the villains. It was like Gotham is like a villain origin
Mhm,
story kind of feel like, and I
right.
like that vibe. And then I like how this movie just. Like we said, Penguin's not the Penguin, Riddler's not the Riddler. We'll see what they do with the Joker,
Mhm.
what vibes, in the
And that doesn't even like Mr. Freeze,
yeah. Who knows what's
uh,
coming out?
Two Face, like you don't, and that's also Firefly. Like
Yeah.
every like there's so many different villains that they could bring into it that we
Yeah.
haven't even seen that aren't who they are yet.
Mm-hmm.
So like they could do origin story after origin story if they really wanted to, and push this into a whole different franchise,
Yep.
away from the DCEU, and just keep it its own thing. Please do not send it to the DCEU, because for it'll
It would
just,
die.
yeah,
It would
that's
die.
where superheroes go to die, and I don't want it touching it. I want it to be its own thing. I don't care if it's weird not to have Batman in the Justice League. It doesn't matter.
Find a new
Batman's doing his
Batman.
own thing.
Find a new
Yeah, he
Batman.
does. Batman's doing his own thing. All right, if you paid attention to any of the like animated series of the Justice League, that's what he always did. It was basically Justice League and Batman.
Yep.
Batman Lego movie, same thing. They're in they're in
You
they're
don't
in
need him.
yeah.
He doesn't even really have superpowers.
No, he doesn't. Like, they're all the other superpower, superheroes are
They're saving the
in,
world.
yeah, they're in Superman's, you know, uh the what is it, the
The Justice League Tower.
no, not the Watchtower, the Superman's icicle.
Oh, okay, okay. I know. I don't know the name, but I know
It's
what you're
the
talking
I know
about.
it's Solace. It's something Solace, right?
Yeah.
But they're in there having a bar party,
Yeah.
and Batman's not invited.
Yeah. Batman is
So
making
let's
sure
keep
that
it that way.
Batman's making sure Gotham is running not as crazy as it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I agree. I totally agree. Now, all right. What about this? I I read that the director said there that originally there was a 4 hour cut of this movie. Would you pay to see that 4 hour cut?
Yes. What are you talking about?
And
What?
supposedly
Like, didn't
there's
they just do that?
supposedly there's a scene that got deleted from the movie, that the scene towards the end when Batman visits the Riddler, that I guess he's walking through the asylum, and Joker's like telling him stuff, like like if they've already met before, but like he's not quite yet the Joker, like
Portraits of Solitude.
yeah.
That's Superman's.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Fortress of Solitude.
yeah,
But yeah, I feel like dude, I feel like they have so many like extended like scenes and stuff like that
yeah.
like would just add more to it.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
that, like it sounds weird, but this is probably one of the movies that you like wish they didn't take anything out.
Yeah,
Like, give me the unedited
yeah,
version.
yeah,
You know?
definitely, definitely. And I also read that the director has like a whole like plan for this whole like Batman universe. So there's gonna be like HBO series, TV shows that are like that tie in. So they think
What?
that a lot of the superheroes' origins, not the superhero, the villains' origins, are gonna be told. I guess I don't know if it's this year or next year that there's gonna be like a an Arkham Asylum TV series where they think like that's when they were gonna find out more about Joker and more about like all the other villains. And I'm all in, dude.
Bro,
I'm all
give
in.
me that.
I am
Give me
all in.
all of it.
Just a show based like I mean we got a little taste of it from Gotham. Like I felt like there was a lot
Hmm.
of scenes in the Arkham Asylum,
Oh, for
and
sure.
I I I would love just like a show just purely based on what goes on in there on a daily basis and just with the plan. Like I mean, you know you're gonna have different villains in there and different people that come across. You know, obviously the Riddler's in there, Joker's in there. Who knows who else is in there? Maybe we get. I mean, maybe
Shark Man,
who
King Shark.
the Shark.
Yeah, King Shark.
Oh, okay. I was saying maybe we see Miss Harley
Killer Croc.
Quinn.
Oh, maybe.
Miss Harley Quinn before she goes. You know, maybe that's what.
Maybe, bro, maybe
Maybe
she was
that's.
in like some of those scenes and they took him out,
Mm-hmm.
you
You know.
know? But maybe she was like one of the doctors, like how she like her origin, right? And so maybe she that's when she meets the Joker,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's why Robbie was in there.
Yeah, but
But we don't
I
know.
heard they don't know, think that Roby is the Harley Quinn. That they feel like they're going for a more subtle like you know dark kind of like you ever watch the animated series of Batman?
Hmm.
Yeah, like kind of like that kind of like vibe from her. Not I don't know how you know. I feel like the new.
I feel like that's similar though.
You think so? I mean, yeah, yeah, no, I don't
A little bit
know.
different. It's a little bit different,
Yeah,
but like it's still like yeah. I feel
yeah,
you.
we'll see. We'll see. I'm all for it. If we can have this Batman, I mean, I you know,
Dude,
like we
that's
said,
a whole thing, bro. Should just scrap the rest of the DCEU. They should just use this Batman
start
and
here.
start here and
Oh
start with
man,
the whole like you said, the whole Arkham Asylum, and then go from here and then implement more and more characters, and then this would be a great starting point for the DCEU.
yeah, I would love
Like
to see that. I would
just
love to
come
see.
on, dude.
I
I
mean,
will
but
give it to me.
I feel like the DCU is just all over the place.
It
It's
is,
just
bro.
but
Like
everything about DC is all over the place.
because
Like
they panicked.
there's too many, there's too much stuff that is going on right now in that DC like universe that it would suck to like kind of just like scrap it all and kind of like be like, all right, yeah, here, like here's this, you know, because like
No, it wouldn't because
I feel like
everybody hates it.
I know, but there's
It'll be good if it would be different
yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
like people like liked it,
I
but
know,
everybody hates it.
but well, here's the way I see it, right? So like, there's this Batman that just came out, right?
Hmm.
Amazing, right? There's that Joker movie, right? That everybody loves, you
Hmm.
know, and obviously that joke they're saying that Joker is not the Joker that's in this Batman
We would have
universe,
known if it
right?
was.
So
Yeah.
now that we're looking at it, right, we have the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, we
Hmm.
have the Jared Leto
Joker.
Joker, and then we have this new Joker. So there's three different Jokers that people are going to be associated that are going to be ongoing, and I feel like that's a lot, right? So now if you go from this Batman, right, and you go right into it, right, and you try to build off of it and go into the Justice League, right, build like a little Teen Titans. There's already a Titan show. Yeah, they're not teens and they're a little bit older, but
No.
well, I feel like it's. I don't know.
We gotta go. We gotta go teens. We gotta keep it Teen Titans. Like that's. I mean, they can bring the Titans in, right?
Yeah,
Because like some of them are younger, so
yeah.
it could work.
I mean,
You know, like
DC's already.
Raven's still young,
Yeah, Robin would
but
be.
like they're like it's weird. But they're all like different ages, right? They're not like the similar ages, which like I don't know Starfire is like an alien, so I don't know how her age really works, right? So I mean, she
Are you talking
doesn't have to
about
be the same
from? Are you just talking about in general? Or are you talking about just from the Titans?
from Titans.
Oh yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
talking about in general, right? Because like
yeah,
if the animated Teen Titans, it seemed like they were all the same age,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, and like this new
But
Titans is the yeah, they
yeah,
got
it's like Robin's like the
Dick
which
Grace.
Robin's always the captain, but like
Yeah, Dick Grayson. Yeah, he's like older now. He's like older.
yeah.
Starfire seems like she's a lot older. And then you have like
Then you
Beast.
have Raven and Beast Boy,
Yeah,
and
and
they seem like they're the same age, but they're also like
yeah,
older.
yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I
You
get
know,
you.
it's pretty. So,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
which they would mix in very well because that's dark
Oh
as
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
But
it would. It would definitely
um,
would. But they have their own Batman.
that's the whole thing. And then so now the DCU is going with Michael fucking Keaton, right? Which like that's fine, but he's old. And then now they're going to go with Batgirl, which now you're not going to have Batman in the Justice League
Yeah.
unless you do another Batman for the DCU and then do this side like right. So that's why it's
It's
like it
just too
makes no
much.
sense,
It's too
bro.
much.
And
It's too
then it
much.
like there's no way that you don't have Batman in the Justice League,
It doesn't.
right? Because like you have to bring in somebody to play Batman. Like Batman with no Justice League is this retarded. Right? Because like that's the whole thing is Batman and Superman, then they're always kind of like beefing. You know, they're always kind of like Batman's kind of like I'm gonna stop you, and then Superman's like, dude, I'm not even gonna do anything. I'm not turning evil. It's like, oh, I know you are. And it's like, dude, I'm fine. I'm good. Nothing's gonna happen. And it's like it's always that constant thing, you know.
Yeah,
But nope. Now we're not gonna have that. Now we're not gonna have the constant like beef between
definitely
those
not.
two.
Yeah, definitely
I
not.
hate it. I hate it.
Well, I mean, I guess. Well, I don't know. Not a fan, but I definitely think I feel like this Batman universe is going in the right direction.
Oh,
Totally,
for sure.
totally,
Definitely.
totally, right, totally. Which leads us to our next
Oh man,
question.
I don't know. I'm so scared.
We only do live action, right?
Yeah,
Live
because
action movies.
animated's like DC animated's goated, bro. Like that's just
Dude,
amazing.
you know what I watched the other day for the first time, and it was fucking awesome. Was Batman versus Ninja Turtles.
Fuck. I've never seen that.
It's like fairly newish. I would say a couple years old.
Oh,
Bro,
really?
it was good. It was good.
I
Like
bet that
like
sounds
it
like.
didn't even feel like a kid's show, like a kid's movie. Like yeah, they say it's like kid. Like it's no, it was good.
I don't even think so.
I mean, I seen fucking bro. Just watch it.
I will.
I seen Shredder do some things. Yeah, just somebody took a ninja star to the forehead.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you tell me that's for a kid, bro. Come on, it's not for
No,
kids.
definitely not.
That shit was made for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that yeah, bro.
bro.
That's your one and two
Yep.
together. That's for sure made for
Oh,
you.
bro. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first on this ranking?
You can go first because I feel like I'm wild. I'm wilding a little
You're
bit.
wilding a little bit. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go from to the least from nine from bottom up. Right.
How far are we going back?
I did all 9 live action movies,
Wow.
so there's 9. All right.
I'm glad you went first.
All right. I had this list ready. It's right here. Boom. All right. I
Okay.
even wrote it down to make sure I was, you know. All right.
Okay.
The worst of all Batman movies, in my opinion, Batman and Robin. I'll put that at number 9.
George Clooney.
Is that George Clooney? I
That's
think
the George Clooney one, right?
I believe it may have
When
been.
Robin and Batgirl,
Listen.
right? And like he like that's the one with the yeah, that's George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep, George Clooney. Yep.
Or this is just movies though, right?
Just movies. Just movies.
Okay. And then we'll do Batman's after?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have that list too?
Huh?
You have that list too?
I can come up with it really fast.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Number 8, the Adam West Batman movie from the 60s.
You went all the way back there?
It's
Man.
it,
Okay.
that's
Wow.
I would say is the first Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree with that. Okay, that's 2.
Number 7,
You got
Batman
me up on my seat now.
Batman Forever.
That's a Michael Keaton.
That one, according to this, is Val Kilmer. Or
Kilmer. Is that the one with Batman Forever? That's the one with
Jim
Freeze
Carrey.
and Scarface and
Yeah, Jim Carrey was the Riddler in that movie.
okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're good. Yeah, I didn't like that one.
All right. And then number 6 would be the Batman. Was that nine in the first Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as the Joker?
Okay.
Right. That's number 6.
Okay.
Number 5, The Dark Knight Rises.
The first Dark Knight. Okay.
The third one, the last one.
Oh, with Bane.
With Bane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then number 4 would be Batman Returns, the other Michael Keaton one with Danny
Right.
DeVito as Penguin.
Right, and that's with Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman as well, Michelle
Okay.
Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2. No, I'm at number 3 now.
Yeah.
Batman Begins. Mr. Bale. Right?
Okay.
Right, Mr. Bale. The first of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And these next 2,
Oof.
I feel like
My
these,
God.
I feel like these next 2, like, I want to watch The Dark Knight, like again, and then go watch the Batman again.
I'm down for that.
You know, I want to watch Dark Knight and the Batman like simultaneously, so I can, because I feel like just after the first watch of the Batman, I got to put it at number 2,
Mm-hmm.
and Dark Knight is number 1, because I feel like the Dark Knight is my number 1 movie of all time.
Yep.
But I feel like the Batman is like right there.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be mad if somebody told me that Batman was better than the Dark Knight, but in my personal opinion, I feel like the Dark Knight, just something about the Dark Knight, it just, you know, that just, I honestly I think it was the Joker for me that did it. That performance by Heath Ledger and even Christian Bale, just, you know, everything about the Dark Knight, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And it is one of
I
the
feel you on that one.
highest rated movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my list. The
Okay.
Batman number
So
2, Dark Knight number 1.
for sure. So mine would be probably Adam West on bottom. And then just because it's 1960s,
Yeah,
and
of
I mean Adam West is cool, but you know, the mayor got to go down. You know, kind of. This is where we kind of differ a little bit. I would probably go. You did. What was your last one?
Batman and Robin.
See, that one's gonna go higher for me
Okay, wow.
because that's the one with Ivy. That's the one with Bane. That's the one with Freeze, right?
That is, yeah, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bane.
That one, I really liked as a kid. So that one's probably gonna go up. So I'll probably put, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna put Jack Nicklaus Joker down there.
At number 8.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I mean, I'm
I
not.
know.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, eh. um, and then it's probably gonna be. I mean, but it's probably gonna be honestly, and you might think I'm crazy, but it's probably gonna be West, Keaton, Keaton again, George Clooney, probably the first Christian Bale, then third Christian Bale with Bane, and then the top two is gonna be.
he's gonna say it, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen.
think I know people are gonna. This is what I'm saying, right? I feel like it's just because I just watched this movie, right? And so it's high up there for me because it's like it's fresh in my mind, right? So I agree with you. I need to watch Dark Knight, then I have to watch the Batman again to really figure out what my number one and two is. But based on just what I enjoy and the fact that it was different,
Mm, I agree.
I'm going Dark Knight, then I'm going the Batman. But this is the only thing, right? And this is why I'm putting it up there, right? If you put Heath Ledger's Joker out of The Dark Knight, right? And you switch the Riddler, then we're not there's no competition at all, right? If you switch villains,
Mm-hmm.
right? It does not. The Dark Knight does not. Is not that great of a movie. I feel like. You feel me?
I get what you're saying.
Does that make sense? I feel like that whole movie is just because the job that Heath Ledger did. It's not really what Christian Bale did, or really, you know. I mean, obviously, the directing and the plot and everything like that was great, but I feel like if you don't put Heath Ledger's Joker in there and you do another villain, right? I just think that Heath Ledger did such a great job that it elevated the plot. It elevated just what that movie was because, I mean, he steals the show, you know? And nothing against with the Riddler. I think he did a great job, but there's just there's no comparison between the Joker and the Riddler, right?
Oh, of course.
You feel me? When it comes to Batman. And obviously there's no comparison and we're still there's no comparison and we have three different Jokers possibly, right? To what Heath Ledger did, right? So I'm saying if you switch the Batman's Riddler and Heath Ledger's Joker and you put them in, you know, the movies, I feel like the Batman completely just skyrockets to number one and leaves everybody else in the dust.
Wow.
That's why I'm putting the Batman number one because I like. Don't get me wrong. I love Heath Ledger. R.I.P. He's one of the greatest actors. Like the Patriot. You got the Joker. We got like all the movies that he's done. Like he's a great actor, and I love that people love the job that he did because he did an amazing job. And this is why I'm saying this is he did such a great job that he made that movie way better than what it should have been.
Wow.
So
Interesting take there, Sir Robbie.
that's what I'm going with. People might hate me, and I want to look back and I, you know, But and that's the thing. I don't think that it's going to change because that my whole thought process is not going to change. If anything, it's just going to justify the way I feel.
Interesting. Interesting take there. All right. So would you say, since we're doing our ranking here, there is 9 movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 5 different Batmans?
You have Val Kilmer, right?
Kilmer.
I skipped Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer is Riddler, right?
Yeah, that's the one with. That's Batman and Robin.
Okay, so those it's West Kilmer, Keaton,
Keaton.
Christian Bale, and then Robert Pattinson for me.
So you put Kilmer at the bottom. No, West at the bottom.
West at the bottom.
West, Kilmer,
Clooney,
Clooney.
Keaton, Christian, and Robert Pattinson at the top, baby.
I have the same, except I gotta keep Bale because he has. I feel like Pattinson can top him though, but as of right now, I'm gonna give it to Bale.
Right, because I mean, 3 movies against 1.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You know.
But not saying that the next. I'm not saying it's not interchangeable.
No, for sure not. And This is with me going into the fact that there's be more movies.
Yeah.
And if it keeps going in the way that I think it's going to be going,
yeah.
he's going to be the best Batman.
And I feel like that one of the next Batmans that Pattinson plays is gonna top both the Dark Knight and this Batman movie.
Well, because we possibly will get the Joker.
And
with friends.
With homies. With homies.
Yeah.
So, which leads us into our last topic, or our last, I guess topic.
Yeah.
Where do you think they're going with this? Any predictions you have? People they may have missed? Additional thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think you kind of like told it already, right? It seems like they're going to make it kind of like Sony, but in with the DC. So that's where it's like kind of complicated, right?
Yeah.
Because like Sony can do that with Spider-Man because
they have 3 different ones,
right? Which like
4 different ones now.
But also because it's its own entity. Like people understand that Sony has rights to like Morbius and Venom and still Spider-Man, but they just have contract with Marvel and everything like that, right? So, and now they might use a different Spider-Man, right? So that's a possibility. Which that makes sense, right? Because Sony is its own thing, right? But here you have DCEU, and then you have the DC's Batman, right? And so it's kind of complicated. I mean, people will get the idea and understand it, but I think if they, it is a lot. It's weird, honestly, and it's kind of weird not, like we talked about, like to, not have Batman with everybody else, but
it is what it is.
I think they're doing the right thing as far as when it comes to Batman, and hopefully they can figure it out with, the Justice League and arrange it where, it works, right? Maybe going with the older Batman and still having like a Batman presence there will work. You never know. But I am hoping that you're right. Hoping that they do really kind of just go forward with this whole universe and with the Arkham series and implement all what I want is I basically want like Gotham, but movies wise, and then with this Batman, right? With the detectives, like don't go away from that. Don't go away with the darkness. Like stay with it. implement all the different characters, like give us characters that we haven't seen before on in the movies. Give us. I think it was a great job starting with the Riddler, and I think if they are able to implement, maybe some of the less known characters and villains, and bring in Azazel, bring in like ones like that where like people don't really know about, but like I think they could do a great job in movies as a smaller role, especially with the way that they did the movie. It was like, okay, we're worried about the Penguin, now we're worried about Falcone, now we're still worried about the Riddler, right? And it was like one of the video games where like you had like your side missions that you need to take care of because like you can't just ignore it, it's out there, right? But like you still need to catch the main guy, right? And I think if they kind of keep doing that and they kind of manipulate it where like it's kind of this like it felt like there was like, okay, like, cool, like we're done. It's like no, like there's still more, and like and kind of this like allow the chaos of Gotham to just like come out into the big screen and just have it be just like chaotic and crazy and dark, and just allow that to take over. I think that we're gonna have a pretty solid franchise on it. So I'm hoping that's what they do. I want all the characters. I want everybody out there.
That would be amazing, obviously. But I think with this first Batman, and where you see like the corruption and you see the shift in like the mob leaders, right? I feel like the next movie that they release with Mr. Pattinson is going to be Riddler. You're going to see the Joker in some kind of team up form.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the Penguin's going to be involved.
Right.
Right. And
Selena gonna be there?
I feel like yeah. I don't know in what capacity, but I feel like we're gonna see that Catwoman kind of just come to life. And there's one other person that I think we'll see, since we're talking about this whole like the DA did get his head exploded.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't see why Mr. Two-Face, Harvey Dent, wouldn't at least make an appearance. Maybe he's not Two-Face yet, but I feel like we get like a taste of that little, like, of him being introduced. And then I feel like going forward, which has not been done in live action, and I feel like it would be the fucking most epic thing ever. And I feel like I said, with the whole corruption and who runs the fucking city, that I feel like you end this.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going
with the Court of Owls.
Yep.
And that shit would just, it would be the it would be the it would be the best.
Right. And so.
Yep.
And like you said, like if they do the series, right? Which I this is another thing, and I think we always kind of just go back to Marvel, right? Because Marvel just has been basically the pioneers for all this shit, right?
Yep, definitely.
That's a great way to implement some of these characters without having to take up movie time, right? And so we're talking about, oh, I want this character, I want that character, I want all these villains, right? And I want it to be chaotic, and I want Gotham to,
you want to see Gotham burn to the ground,
right? And you want to see you want to see Firefly, you want to see Azazel, you want to see Deathstroke, you want to see Harley, you want to see the Joker, you want to see Riddler, Two-Face, Penguin, Poison Ivy. You want to see all these people, right? All these villains, all these characters, and also like the whole, like the mob. You want to see a Black Mask. You want to see all these people, right? And a way to really implement it and fit it into the story is by doing these series, right? And if hopefully they do it and are able to keep up with it and do it correctly to the point that they are
The
able
Court
to
of
make
Owls,
it make
baby.
sense, you know. And then finally, I would love to, if that's like one of like the final movies is the Court of Owls, and really bring that to life. That would have to be like 2-3 movies, bro, because I feel like
A part one and a part two.
part one and part two, but like
Kind
have
of
it to the point where like it's early and like like he's still like I said, like that's the main mission,
like
but
Infinity
every
War
movie, yep,
and
and
Endgame.
like Endgame, Infinity War, but it's throughout all the movies, it's something that comes up. It's always there, right? Same thing like how the Avengers, like with the whole Avengers movies and everything, like this, the stones were there throughout the all of the movies, right? And we all knew that it was coming to this, but we just didn't know when. And then finally it hits, and it's
Court
like
of Owls,
boom,
baby.
Court of Owls. But I mean, that would be the end.
But it would be the best ending.
hmm I mean, it wouldn't be the end because they still got like,
Yeah.
but then like, but if you think about it, like then that would be even better, right? Because now you have an unhinged Gotham
Mm-hmm.
with nobody controlling it. Like at least with the Court of Owls, bro, you have someone like underneath controlling all of it, right? Making things, you know,
Run how they run.
run how they run, and it might seem chaotic, but you have people
They're
behind the scenes
they're creating
making
the
sure that
chaos.
right, creating the chaos and making sure that it's contained,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if
Yep.
you just get rid of them and then allow everybody just to fight for whatever power that's there,
You gotta fight for
bro,
your right to
tell
party,
me,
baby.
an unhinged Gotham, Jesus Christ,
And that's when you throw
bro, that
in,
would be
and
amazing.
I
Oh
feel
my
like
god,
that's when you
they need to
bring
do it.
in. That's when you bring
I'll,
in Robin, and you bring in Batgirl, and you bring in all the people that
mm-hmm,
if Teen Titans, if need be, like
yep,
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
bro, that would be amazing if that ends up being where they take it. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that would be wild.
Last question before we end this episode here, Robbie Ray.
Yes, sir.
There's a tweet of some sort that was sent to me. Right. Hot take.
What did I do?
Hot take or unpopular opinion. Right. No, it wasn't you.
Okay.
It was somebody. It was somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Somebody.
right. I thought it
Somebody.
was about me. I
No.
thought
No.
you
No.
brought
No.
it.
No. 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 No.
Okay.
No. No.
Cool. Cool.
It's
Cool.
about
All
Batman.
right.
It's about Batman.
Okay.
All right. They said.
Are we gonna do no names, right?
I don't. It was a random person. It was just sent to me.
Oh.
It was just said to me. But I
Oh.
want
Okay.
I
Cool. Cool.
want
Cool.
to know
Cool.
if you agree or not. Right. The tweet was from a random person, but it was a hot take. Right.
Okay.
This Batman movie was better than, if not all, but the majority of the MCU movies.
Ooh. Oh wow.
Well, let's start here.
Oh
Was
man.
this Batman movie better than the last Spider-Man movie? I say yes.
I would have to see. I would have to go back, bro. I would have to
There's a lot of
see.
movies. There's
There's
just a
a
lot of
lot of
movies.
movies. See, we might have to just do like a watch party
But
or
I feel
something,
like this.
right?
I agree to the point because I mean, there's a lot of movies in there that are. I mean, don't get me wrong. MCU poops on DCU, but if we're talking about movie versus movie, like this Batman is Infinity
It's
War,
it just
Endgame level like stuff. Like like I feel like all the movies now the MCU is throwing out there have all this hype because of what they built up,
Mm-hmm.
and this Batman movie already just it's that good already. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's valid. I mean, it like I said, I think it really depends on what people enjoy,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
Because if look, I heard all types of things, bro. I heard, oh my god, it was boring, right? But I was like, bro, that's also because like it,
It's not
bro.
like
That's how like the detective movies are. That's how like the thrillers are, right? Like there,
this was not your
it
typical
has
superhero
to
movie.
right. It wasn't like super CGI, super like crazy.
And that's
You
what
know,
I
scenes.
love. I think that's why I love Batman and the
Mhm.
Ninja Turtles, because it's not like they don't have the superpowers where they're like laser beaming and super strength. Like, they're going based off the fighting styles that they were taught. Like, and obviously Batman has the gadgets, and whatever it may be, but like still when he's in a fight, it's not like he's like overpowering these guys. He's still
Right,
beatable.
right.
It's not like
And we
Superman.
saw it. I mean,
It's not like like Superman has 20 guys on him and he can just wow, and all of a sudden he's
yeah,
30 guys flying off of him. Yeah,
bro. Like my guy had to take like the venom juice
yeah,
to get back into the fight.
yep,
You know. But I think it really depends on what you enjoy, right?
yep,
And of course, MCU does a great job of bringing those characters to life, and a lot of it, I would agree that is because it's just the MCU, and they do a great job, but it's also based off of the Avengers and what they have established
yep.
already. But yeah, I would agree. Like as far as let's just go with this. It's better than um every standalone superhero movie that they have made besides maybe the new Spider-Man movie, right? Just because it's the three Spider-Mans and
Yeah,
all that stuff, right?
yeah,
Which it's kind of cheating, right? Because you have Endgame, Infinity War with all of the Avengers and everything that led up, 10
yeah.
years
I mean, yeah,
of
of course.
movies and all that stuff, right? So maybe not those three, I would say, but it's really, really close.
Yeah,
And for it to just to be a
just to be in
standalone
that conversation.
Batman movie and to be in that conversation, means a lot, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. All right. Just wanted to
I
get that
mean,
out there. And you did bring up something we didn't discuss was
oh,
the
there's so much to discuss in
yeah
this movie, bro.
the gas, the venom. Like, did he already encounter Scarecrow? You think?
I don't know if that's Scarecrow.
Or like
It's
some.
like the Venom, like it's from like what I remember, right? Is like Venom, like the
Yeah, yeah,
uh
yeah.
with the poison ivy, right?
Oh, okay,
And like
okay.
he pushes the that one, and then he pushes it, and then he goes and he gets
Yeah,
huge, and he goes
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
right? So that's what I think it was,
Okay.
right? Because it didn't look like it was like just like an adrenaline pin,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it looked green and it
Yeah,
looked like
yeah,
there was
yeah.
something different about it, right? So I think maybe that's what it is, and that would be awesome. Could we even talk about Bane, right? Which that would be awesome if he made that, right? Or
Yeah,
if
that's what I
like,
meant. Bane, not Scarecrow.
or
Bane.
yeah, if
Yeah,
Wayne Industries or was
yeah,
making that, and that's where he got it from, and then that's how Bane gets it and like and
yeah,
mass produces it and all this stuff. But there's so much stuff that we could
yeah.
talk
But
about.
if you
We didn't talk
just
about
yeah,
we didn't talk about the suit. We didn't talk, bro. There's so much, but it's crazy.
yeah,
I think it was just a great
so
movie.
much to cover.
And
But the suit
I'm
was sick. I like the little cape, kind of like
that turned into
the flying
the wind the
suit, the
flying
wingsuit. Yeah, that was
suit.
pretty
That shit was
sick.
sick.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely one of my favorite Batman suits. Oh man.
for sure, and then like, he's like basically
Yep.
bulletproof.
And
It's
just
way better than any of the Batman suits. Like Christian Bell, he gets shots, he's done, bro.
yep,
Like some, you know. Um,
yep.
but yeah, everything, man. It was great.
And if you want to see more of this action-packed Batman, I will be streaming soon the Batman series, Arkham series. starting with Arkham Asylum into Arkham City, and then finishing off with Arkham Knight. And hopefully Gotham Knights comes out. There's rumors coming out mid-April. They got leaked. Supposedly that was coming out.
I thought they said they was going to be end of 2022.
There's a leak supposedly April 20 something.
Oh my god!
Hopefully that leak is right, and we're getting it next month. And I'll be streaming that as well. El Master Damie on Twitch.tv.
There you go, plug. And then I will be hopefully streaming something. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people have been doing all the Uncharted lately.
Yeah,
I did. I finished the first one in one day.
You would be streaming off the Duck Duck Bros Twitch.
I would be streaming off the Duck Duck Bros Twitch. Depending on if I get my PS5, maybe we'll do some pro clubs, but we will be streaming, so you guys come in. And
the boys are back.
We're gonna be streaming.
MLB The Show, end of this month.
Oh, that's exactly what I'll be streaming as well.
Co-op mode. You ready?
I'm with it. Let's do it.
We're ripping packs until we pull Trout.
I'm down. I'm saving up.
I'm hoping I get it on the free ones.
Oh man, yeah, hopefully.
Shoot.
But yeah, so I mean, we'll be on there. We'll tweet it out. We'll put it on Instagram.
We're ready.
We'll do all that good stuff.
Let us know what
we're ready to go. We're ready to grind.
Let us know what you want to see. Any games you want to see us play. Let us know.
Oh yeah, let us know. I'll buy it.
We're not the greatest probably, but we'll play it.
Well, you know what? We're not the greatest, but we are well rounded.
We will figure it out. We get dubs on Fortnite.
Hella dubs.
Yep. Other than that, let us know what you guys think about the movie. If you watched it already, if you just watch this or listen to this podcast and said, F it, I just want to hear about what these guys think about the movie before I go and watch it. Let us know what you think. You're excited to go watch it. Sorry, we
don't do that.
Yeah, because then you already kind of know what happens. But I mean,
and you're leaving it up to us two on what you do. And I don't think that's.
Yeah, but I mean, let us know what you thought about the movie. What do you think's gonna happen in this universe? And hey, what would you like to see from this Batman series? And do you think they should fucking scrap the DCEU like Robert said? You think they should scrap that thing?
That's not even a question.
This your boy, Master Damie.
You guys agree. This is Robbie Ray.
And we will see muchachos and muchachas.
All the muchachas.